Welcome to Pardon My Hunch, the show about the real decisions we make in business and in life and the gut instincts we trust or sometimes wish we had not ignored. As always, the show is brought to you by the Vibe Method. This is a process that we use and teach innovators and marketers or anyone who's trying to nail a unique customer story for a new idea or for a new brand message before they ever go live. So, to find out more about how you can nail a killer vibe for your new idea or your brand before investing all in to go live, you can check it out at gohunch.com. All right. On today's show, we have Brandon Jones. Thanks for being here, Brandon.
Thank you, Teri, for having me. I really appreciate you reaching out. I'm excited to be on your show.
Thank you. I'm honored to have you. Brandon, you're the founder and president of FilmFrog, and I'll let you say more about FilmFrog. It's almost like the name in itself probably has people wondering what FilmFrog is all about. Give us a little bit about what FilmFrog does. Of course, I think there's a story with the name too that you might need to tell.
Yeah, so I will say FilmFrog, we love movies. So we market film and entertainment experiences. That's what we do all day long. We are a company that's a little over 7 years old. We're fully remote. We have 12 full-time employees, and we manage marketing for over 1,500 movie screens around the country. That's about 150 locations. In aggregate, it would make our group of movie theaters the fourth largest in the United States, behind AMC, Regal, and Cinemark.
Wow.
We also,
That's big.
we also handle marketing for both of the associations, Cinema United and the Independent Cinema Alliance, as well as we partner with the studios on different exhibitor marketing campaigns and paid media campaigns. So basically, if you have seen a movie in a movie theater in the last 7 years, we have probably touched that film on the marketing side in some way, shape, or form. And we just love the cinema experience. We love the theatrical experience. I will say this before we get into the why I picked the name FilmFrog, but going to the movies is alive and well. It is millions of people go to the movies still every day. Streaming has never killed movies or going to the movie theater. It killed cable. And when you go to the movies, one of the reasons it is such a culturally influencing experience is because it's one of the only places ever that you can go and be vulnerable with your emotions in a room full of strangers. You will laugh louder, you will cry, you will react, and you don't care who's around you. You feel very kind of safe in that space to let yourself just go on this journey that the filmmaker's taking you on. And that's why movie theaters have been around for 100 years. They will be around for 100 more years and more. And the studios are dedicated to making that happen. Before we get into all of that, okay, here's my story on FilmFrog. One, I went to TCU. We're the Horned Frogs. So that's how I picked the name FilmFrog. Colors are also purple. Again, going back to TCU. However,
I can relate to this, given the colors.
What's that?
I can relate to even the colors matching. My colors, my company are somewhat close to my NFL team of passion.
Yeah.
Continue, Brandon. Continue.
So before I launched FilmFrog Marketing is like the full name of the company. Back in 2002, I launched a company called FilmFrog Productions, and I really wanted to get into film production and distribution at that time. And so I had that company. It was really small. We helped some independent filmmakers kind of distribute their movies, both in the theatrical space and at that time into video and DVD stores. And several years later, like 10 years later, I reconnected with somebody and they said, hey, let's get together. And I said, no problem. Let's exchange information. And they said, is your email still filmfrog at AOL? And at that moment, I said, I will never change the name of this company again.
Right.
If you can remember that I was FilmFrog at AOL in 2002 and it is 2015, I know that I have the right name for my company. So when I relaunched it in March of 2019 is when we launched FILMFROG Marketing, and then we just pulled it back. And so we just call ourselves FILMFROG today. But that's how the name came about.
Oh my gosh. There's so many, like, I think whether you're doing marketing or seasoned vet, like reminders in what you just talked about. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Like we think we overthink probably, but I don't know. The only thing worse than overthinking is underthinking. So it's fine. If you have passion, you're going to overthink. But when it comes to naming, it's tricky. It's hard. We overthink it or we go with it. And there could be something in that name that means something to the person who named it that may not be intuitively connected or directly connected to the thing you do, but ultimately there's a story behind it, and you're passionate about it, and it has a ring to it, and it's quirky, and you're in creative arts, and it's consistent. Stick with it.
Yeah, I've had people at one time I did kind of like thought about pivoting away from it. This was several years ago. Somebody came up with this kind of clever, catchy, analytical name, and it never sat well with me. So I just didn't change it at that time. I kept it. And then just last week, somebody said, "Hey, you should really think about at some point maybe changing the name." And I just sat back. I wasn't going to be confrontational at the moment, but I was just like, I let it go. And my wife, who's an entertainment journalist, was uh, interviewing a filmmaker. And when she interviews them under the Film Frog brand, so when she goes on camera, it says, please welcome Danielle from Film Frog. And the guy that she was talking to was like talking about Film Frog and what a fun name that was. And at the end, he was like, Film Frog forever. And so now I
Is it?
have this
Oh my
filmmaker talking
God.
about that. And it's all our social media, I'm sure. So yeah.
Earned. It's all earned. That's awesome. Did
Yeah.
you and your wife meet in the industry? Given she's a
We we did. We both worked at a company called Studio Movie Grill, and she handled social media and uh, got into the entertainment hosting. She was really getting into that field, and I was the head of marketing there. That's how we met.
Oh, I love it. Wait, I think I saw this post on LinkedIn. Is this the oh shoot, what's the name of the movie? I just saw a preview for it. The
Sheep Detectives.
Sheep Detective, where poor Hugh Jackman gets off in the beginning.
Yep, that's
It
the
looks
movie.
really cute. I mean, it's like
It
so
does.
quirky, but it looks fun. We saw the preview this weekend. Oh, by the way, when you were talking about going back to experiences, and like when you said movies are not dead, and then you went into like why what it is that pulls us. I mean, it's like the basics, the experience itself of actually going there. But the just the memory, the experience of being at there's no, we used to say during COVID, oh my God, there's nothing like being at the movie theater. I'm going. I don't care. Give me a mask. But I've never heard it put that way, where it's like it actually, if you like kind of, the science of emotion is really what's so intriguing to anybody in marketing. It's like, oh yeah, we're like vulnerable. We can be vulnerable. Although I will say, Brandon, you're going to know exactly which movie I'm talking about when I tell you. Just this weekend, I found myself crying quite frequently while watching a movie about a space spider. I mean, what is it? The Hail
Did it?
Mary
Did
Project?
it? Did
Project
it?
Hail Mary.
Project Tell Me. Did it involve a hacky sack? Did it involve Rocky?
It did
Did
involve
it
all.
involve the 70
I did.
millimeter print that I have on my desk? All these things on my
Oh,
desk. So Project Hail
Brandon,
Mary
this movie, it's so human connection. And I was
you know,
like, at one point, I'm like, what is
crazy.
my gift? I mean, the feelings this movie evoked in me. Uh, it was on the we talked about it for an entire hour after.
It
Why are we
is.
here?
Yeah, look, in my opinion, I think look, it's one of the best movies that's been made in the last 40 years, no doubt. I think it is every bit of this generation's ET, and the fact that
Oh
this
yeah.
alien rock creature it actually delivers more humanity in that movie than like I get choked up even thinking about it. I've seen
I-
it 3 times.
oh,
My wife and I took 20 of our friends to go see it in IMAX. I took my son to go see it in IMAX. Went to the trade screening, and we went all in. Like that's one of the things. Like I knew about this movie from a year ago when they launched the campaign at CinemaCon in 2025. And we've been following along with our partners at MGM Amazon, and then saw the trade screening and immediately said, this movie is every bit of The Martian. Obviously, Andy Weir wrote
Yeah.
that book as well, but it's also it's Apollo 13, it's Wild Robot, it's E.T., it's Armageddon, it's all of these movies that just culminated. And again, you have a very likable guy in Ryan Gosling who's delivering it, but he's very authentic in it. And
Oh,
but man, my favorite, maybe not my favorite scene, one of my favorite scenes is actually the karaoke scene in that movie.
is the what?
And karaoke scene.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. I cried. I'm watching her. I mean, sorry, everyone. Spoiler alerts. Not really. Watching her just feel, I'm gonna go do it. And then him, I was like, I don't even know why what stirred me so much watching it. Like
It
her
is,
vulnerability, maybe.
well, yeah, I think number one, the lyrics are just kind of chilling
Well,
in that moment at that part of the like thank you Harry Styles. But then the fact that that's out of character to her and bringing that into that moment, and then I'll tell you, maybe he's brilliant in the movie, but the way he sits at that bar and
right.
reacts with his face, you're like, that is acting, man. It is so good. And then the conversation that they had right before, like, we're not giving away, that's not the end of the
I mean,
movie
the
or anything,
camaraderie,
but
all of the themes like that they are so natural in how they come through. And
it's
I am not
wild.
creative or in the industry, but like I study humans for a living, what I do. But it doesn't matter. I just was like amazing to what a well written. Well, first of all, I'm watching, I'm like, this has Martian vibes. I didn't realize because the vibe was similar in a lot of ways. And well, no wonder, it's the same author. But it was just like the themes are so obvious, but they're so natural. It's almost like there was no, it's just so well done. Like I haven't
Yeah.
seen anything so creative and poignant. I can't even
It's
remember the last time I
it's
felt
a
this way
look,
about a
it's a
movie.
masterpiece. And I will
Oh,
say that's every reason why people go to the movies is in that. And you're exactly right, Terry. Like when you go to the movies, we said this, it's like every time you go, you're like, oh my God, I totally forgot how great it is. Like it is so much better. Like the other thing about going is that the no distractions thing is real. Like when you're watching whatever at home, the dogs have to go out. I feel like I need to unload the dishwasher, change the wash. My wife's on her phone and that's irritating me. I got the dogs walking around, somebody's texting or calling, or I just feel like I got other shit to do. I mean, like, and you go to the movies, you actually buy into the moment, buy into the experience. And look, I challenge movie theaters all the time. Like they've got to improve the way they present the movies. They got to present, they got to invest in the projection and the sound, and they got to do a better job just with the whole experience of going to the movies. That's a whole different podcast. But um, I mean, the filmmakers are stepping up, and if anything tells you that this industry is very very solid, it's the number of the most world class filmmakers ever that have movies in movie theaters this year. I mean, Martin Scorsese doesn't have a movie in theaters this year, but you could go back to James Cameron with Avatar, and then Spielberg's got a movie, Ridley Scott's got a movie, Christopher Nolan's got a movie, Denis has a movie. I mean, there's
I saw
one
all of those
after.
previews, on
Yeah,
Saturday.
I mean, I would even like say Send Help was brilliant. I mean, like for the kind of the horror thriller audience, I mean, Send Help was just, it was great. It was a ton of fun to go see that movie. And then
I haven't seen that. Wait, I haven't
uh
seen Send Help.
Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien. It's
Oh, I
it's
love
really
her.
good. It's streaming now probably, but
I've heard of it vaguely. Why don't I know this movie? Okay, Send Help. I need writing this down.
yeah. So yeah, that's all things. Like I could just tell you that there are so many good reasons to go to the movies this year, whether it is on your own, with a friend, with your family, with your kids, you know, take a group of people. There's just so many good reasons to go. And I just don't know that many people that walk out of a movie and say I didn't have a great time. Whether you like the movie or not is kind of irrelevant. It's not you didn't make the movie. So I I can't stand movie critics because I think they think every movie needs to change the world, and really just it only needs to change your world for about 100 minutes. That's how long it needs to change your world. Go in there, go on the ride. And I still think that, movie theaters really operate these empathy machine. You actually get to go
Yeah.
experience something in a perspective and you buy into that, whether you agree or not, or like it or not, doesn't really matter. It's you get to go share that. And now I'm connected to these people around me and in the theater. And the reason movies influence culture so much is because one, you have a collective experience in the theater. That, yes, first and foremost. But the other thing is how many movies are influencing culture really comes down to that you've gotten a large group of people to go do the same thing at about the same time. I mean, Project Hail Mary is a phenomenon because so many people went to do it, and now they get to talk about it and share this experience. You and I didn't see the movie together, but now we have a shared experience about the
Yeah.
movie. And you didn't
Wow.
see Send Help, and I did, but I can talk about it and share that experience with you, and then you'll go see it, and you're going to tell your friend, and now it's again. And that's how movies really influence culture. That really just doesn't happen with streaming. It rarely happens that there's a Tiger King that we all kind of saw at the same time. We had nothing to do at that moment, but like and that's why you sit there and talk to your friends, and you're like, "What are you watching?" And you all kind of say, "We're watching these different things," and you may or may not go back and see
Yeah.
those. But that exclusive theatrical window where you have to go experience it in the same way in about the same time. I mean, all these people are going to see Project Hail Mary within, 4 to 6 weeks of each other. And we'll be talking about this movie for shit. We're still talking about ET, and we're going to
Yeah.
talk about
Exactly.
Project Hail Mary for a really long time.
I mean, everybody wants to see. Everybody needs to see it. You will feel something, and
Everybody.
it's so good. I mean Ryan Gosling. He's so likable anyway. But I mean, like he's such. Like, how I was feeling at certain parts of this movie, like I'm like going between feeling so into the story, and then it's making me feel all these things about me and life and all this stuff. At the same time, I'm kind of in my mind critiquing like how good he is because I'm feeling the same way at one point. A little bit of a not really a spoiler alert. When I watched um Castaway and Tom Hanks,
It
I'm like
is
a
a
bawling when
castaway.
Wilson is a ball and Wilson is floating away and his everything we've ever feared in our life about losing someone, isolation, loneliness, I'm feeling about this volleyball. And
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but like acting is a talent. I could never do
it's
it.
wild.
And thank
My
God
per
people are good at it. Just like thank God musicians are good at what they do.
Yeah,
Never let
super
yourself just because you're
talented.
not curing cancer, you're making someone's day who has cancer. Like I when Jimmy Buffett died, I remember I was on vacation with my husband and we were like playing his songs. I'm like, I am really sad about. I feel like I know Jimmy Buffett and I know what it is. The minute I hear one of his songs, I am back in that ski bar circa 1995. Après ski the night the singer brought us on stage. We're all swaying. We're singing sharks. I'm like, his music takes me to memories. And I'm like, does this man know what he has done for millions of people? I remember him talk. And I'm like, I'm not a crazy Jimmy Buffett fan, but I love Buffett. I kind of grew up going to his concerts in Cincinnati. There's a weird phenomenon here because he named Cincinnati in one of the songs. But at one point, I remember him talking about how he never has won any really big awards, and he said, "Who needs awards when I have fans like you?" And
Right?
it's like the Dead. I went to my first. Well, I've never seen the Grateful Dead, but I did go. My husband's a total Deadhead. Him and all his buddies. They have Woodstock, they did all the things. And we went to see Dead and Company's the 60th anniversary of the Grateful Dead, Dead and Company in Golden Gate Park last year, which is I'm so glad I went because I got
Wow.
Bob Weir. And I was like, "Oh my god, I get it now." Not that I'm like I mean, I like some of the music that comes on, but I mean, I was like finding myself after being part of that connectedness. It's like the conversation that you have after the movie about the movie to me is as amazing as being at the movie because you're connected. Like that thing that all of these deadheads have, that community is like something. And once you feel it, I'm like, okay, now Grateful Dead comes on and I own it. I'm like, I'm a
Now
deadhead.
you're in.
My music's up. I got stickers.
Uh, that's fun. I will say this one that just kind of closing out the
Yeah.
Project Hail Mary conversation is that
Yeah.
I think that the guy who operates the puppet is going to get an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor.
I think he should
It'd be the first time. It'd be
because
cool.
he was the voice and the puppeteer, right? Like, isn't this person did I hear that
I
wrong? I
mean,
was wrong.
it was definitely the puppeteer. I mean, they were interacting, but again, that's all off. I mean, the voice was computer generated, but
Well, I thought there
yeah,
was an actor who was the voice. No,
maybe I don't know,
I think
but
so. I could be. I thought I
the
saw it on
puppeteer
LinkedIn.
guy is, I think, should get a nomination. He
Unreal, no
drove
doubt.
that whole thing. It'd be cool. It'd be really, really cool if he did. So
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, you're welcome to the movie for this plug that, I'm going to be
yes,
that I'm publishing this podcast ASAP. So everyone goes,
please do.
it's just, you got to see it's just it's like, I mean, I had a similar reaction when I saw Maverick, but for totally different reasons. Like I grew up on Top
So,
Gun. It was like a love letter to my 80s for me.
did you see Top Gun Maverick in the movie theater?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Or yeah.
Okay. Do you remember
Granted, I
when?
saw it the damn.
Okay,
I'm a huge
I'll give
fan.
you my whole Top Gun Maverick
Okay.
story here. But the
Yeah.
before it came on, there was Tom Cruise came on screen and
Yeah.
he thanked audiences and movie theater owners for
Yeah.
the patience and bringing it to movie theaters. The reason that happened was because my wife was sitting in front of him and asked him a question about hanging why this movie was so important to be seen in theaters, and he delivered that answer, and they used it in front of every single time he played the movie. He was sitting
Are
in the
you
chair
kidding
across
me?
from him.
How cool is that? I love that he realized in that moment we should do this because you're
He
right.
is. I'm telling you that it's.
Oh, wow.
He's the greatest event filmmaker of all time. Like he is really genuine. I don't know him personally. I've never actually met him, but I've been, kind of in this world.
Yeah.
My wife has interviewed him a couple times, and he really is present. I mean, he's an absolute pro. And it was funny. We got to go to the premiere of
Oh, how
Top
cool.
Gun Maverick in San Diego.
Yeah.
You know, red carpet. It's on the aircraft carrier, and he
Oh, yeah.
choppers in.
I saw it. How neat.
So we were there, and but when my wife was saying, "Hey, my husband and I are both in this business, and we had owned a movie theater at the time," and he goes, "Please have your husband. Are you going to the premiere? Please have your husband find me. I want to thank him." And I'm like, I'm in the green room behind, and I'm like, "That's how that works. I just go find him." Not
Yeah,
how that
sure.
works.
Yeah.
And
I'll just
I
go
loved
find
the
him.
movie anyway, and we went, and I mean, that's the cool thing about what we do. Both my wife's name is Danielle Hawthorne, and she is a really talented entertainment journalist. Um, but so we get these really, really cool opportunities, like going. I mean, she was at the Project Hail Mary premiere in New York when it was 30 degrees outside, and they were doing all this stuff. But we get to do these really cool opportunities. Um, Above and beyond going to see movies and market movies and things like that. I mean, we really do get to share these stories and these experiences. And I remember this was several years ago. My son, who's graduating college and loves movies as well, but somebody asked him, they're like, "Oh, do you love movies?" And he goes, or they go, "Do you love movies as much as your dad?" And he goes, "Well, I'm not a freak like my dad." And I was like, "Yes, thank you." I was
That's
like
how,
really appreciated the fact that he thinks I'm a freak about how much I love movies, and I do love movies. So
yeah. I
I
want to
think
be.
it's a great connection.
Well, I mean, what a joy. I mean, like the thing you love to do and where all your experience comes from, and now you're helping that industry with marketing. I mean, like I'm jealous. I think it all
Well,
what.
I think look, number one, I don't want to do anything else ever. This is what I want to do all the time, every day. But at the same time, I mean, I'm an entrepreneur. I've been in this business 7 years on my own, building a company. And when I started Film Frog, it was really because, well, I had left Studio Movie Grill, which is where I was the head of marketing for that company, and I really needed to go do something. And I felt like these small, mid-sized independent and regional movie theater owners, there was a gap. There's really the big three exhibitors, AMC, Regal, and Cinemark. And look, they're huge. I mean, they control a big portion of the industry, but there was this whole other part of it, and I built this process and rhythm and systems about how to market movie theaters. And I thought I could go kind of democratize that a little bit. And so when I launched FilmFrog, the intent was to be a fractional CMO to kind of some small and mid-sized exhibitors. So right out of the gate in March of 2019, I found my first 4 clients. I went and kind of just
Yeah.
going on a hunch, really, like
Yeah.
literally, I had no idea what I was getting into. And it was great for about a year. And then March of 2020 happens and this whole thing falls
Mm.
apart. I mean, there weren't movies in movie theaters. They were closed down. And so at that time, I literally remember getting on calls with my clients. There was only 4 of them, but I was like, hey, we just won't invoice you for like a month or 2 while we kind of get through this little thing. And that went on obviously months and months. So all of a sudden there was no revenue or income coming in. And at the same time, I started to see these and getting connected to these great exhibitor marketers, that were losing their jobs or their departments were closing or they're being laid off or furloughed. So I started hiring them like on just like project contract basis. And I was like, maybe what we could do is just movie theaters are going to come back, but like these small and mid-sized and independents, they had no marketing teams.
Yeah.
So I was like, why don't we just give the marketing away? So we literally created a Google Drive. We would create marketing materials and anybody who wanted them could go get them for free. And so over that time, now we're like 4, 5, and 6 months into this, still no revenue coming in. And I'm hiring people and paying people to give away marketing materials for movie theaters that were largely empty.
I'm feeling you.
And then we decided at about September of 2020, I was like, we need to do something that's kind of bigger, that reconnects and reignites this whole movie theater experience. So I came up with this concept called Cinema Week. And the first Cinema Week launched in June of 2021. But here's like the whole trick to this. I'm now a year into this, making no money. I have no money. And I'm launching this industry-wide campaign. Literally, I've got every movie theater in the country, Canada and the Caribbean bought in. The studios are bought in. And I've committed to launching this marketing campaign for Cinema Week. And like, I've never told this story, by the way, publicly. And I actually didn't even tell my wife or my son that I was doing this at the time, but I needed to hire the people, like make them employees and launch this campaign. So at the time I took every dollar I had, and I'm
Why
not
did they have to be
talking,
employees? Why couldn't they be
well,
contractors?
we were just at a point that they were either going to
Okay.
go get jobs or we were going
Got
to,
it. Gotcha. I
they were
get
going
it.
to launch.
Okay.
So I literally took every dime that I had.
I
And I'm
imagine.
not talking about like I had a savings account or investment funds or anything. I took every dollar and I just said, either you believe in what you're about to do or go get a job. And I shoved it, and I said, this will never happen again in your life. And I shoved it across the table, and it was the greatest bet I've ever made.
Every cell in my body is on fire because I remember when I decided I'm going to do this, I didn't put every cent. Had I launched a campaign like this, I would have needed to. The
Well,
bet
my
on yourself,
son,
the bet
6
on
months
yourself
later,
thing.
yeah, my son, 6 months later, I actually told him that before I told my wife that ever happened. He was like, well, what if it didn't work? I was like, well, you wouldn't be going to college.
Well, student loans, student loans.
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
Maybe not.
So yeah, we did that. We hired our team, and since then we've been growing. And like I said, I'm based in Dallas, and there's some people that are here based in Dallas, but we're a remote company. And we have people in Atlanta, Charlotte, DC, Denver, Minneapolis, Denver, and Phoenix. We've got 12 full-time employees plus some contractors and freelancers that we spin up and down based on based on the
Yeah.
workload. And that's what we do. So we're all in all the time. Literally all we do is try to tell people to go see movies in movie theaters, kind of sell movie tickets. That's what we do.
Well, us moviegoers love that people are doing this. Help the people create the experiences that we never forget. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
FILMFROG, Cinema Week. This is a big deal. This is
Yeah, we ran it for 2 years.
what is it? Give us the quickie on what the
Well,
campaign started
yeah,
at.
at the time it was really a big earned media, some paid media behind it, but it was movie theaters and the studios coming together really to promote movie going at a time when they really needed to.
Okay.
And we did it in 2021 and 2022. The industry really started getting reestablished. The association started getting involved. So now it's kind of morphed into there isn't, I still own the IP for Cinema Week, but, and maybe it will come back someday. I don't know. But now it's really morphed into kind of just some more um, singular opportunities that the industry gets behind. And yeah, like movie going's good right now. So knock on wood, we'll keep it going. And I think that there should be industry wide promotions and campaigns, like Restaurant Week or Shark Week or
I
things
would
like
say like
that.
restaurant week, even locally, like Burger Week, Pizza Week, and everyone there's like I hate to use
Yeah,
buzzwords, but sometimes they're perfect. Like the synergy, everyone wins and then everyone's contributing. Like everyone's
yeah,
paying a little in and then getting although I would argue a lot of the benefit you get, you don't have to pay anything for in that situation.
yeah. A lot. I mean, that's why earned media is so great.
Yeah.
We actually like one of the campaigns that's kind of come out of this is for November is Military Family Appreciation Month or something like that, and there's obviously there's Veterans Day that's in there. So through a company or through an organization called Folds of Honor, if you go to the movie theaters, not all of them, but at participating locations, $1 of the ticket, or if you buy a popcorn combo or something like that, gets donated to Folds of Honor, and then Folds of Honor um, gives $5,000 scholarships to family members of fallen military members or first responders to continue their education. So we've been able to raise it. We've done it 2 years. This will be our third year running that campaign, which again, I think is just a great way. Look, you're going to the movies anyway.
Right.
November is a good time to go on Veterans Day. And I think you talk about like hunches and stuff. One of the things that I think movie theaters have really struggled with is, especially around Veterans Day, I'm going to pick on this one, is that don't show war movies on Veterans Day and think veterans are showing up to watch the worst day in their life unfold on screen, because that literally happens. Instead, and by the way, military veterans have other things to go do on Veterans Day. Instead,
Besides
make it,
relive their PTSD, right?
yeah. So instead, get everybody else involved to contribute back and thank and honor the military on Veterans Day. And you can do that by going to the movies and participating in this Folds of Honor campaign. So again, we do things like that within our group, and because we're connected so widely in the
Yeah.
industry, they become more institutionalized campaigns. And again, I think they kind of started out of this thought of a cinema week type event. There's been cinema days, there's National Popcorn Day in January, but look, the industry certainly has the ability to rally and really make an impact from the movie theater side, not just the studio side.
I love it. That's such a I always think about Saving Private Ryan and that scene, the Normandy scene, and like watching it and thinking, and I remember seeing along, God, I don't that maybe it's getting dated now, but watching an interview with this gentleman crying, describing he's obviously an old gentleman, like describing people were throwing up in the water. I mean, like the amount of you really believe you're about to you're going to die. I'm here, I'm dying. That's what was going through. And can you and now to think about like people seeing a movie and reliving that. I haven't thought about it that way, but I do remember how I felt watching that interview, thinking, I mean, even watching the movie, I'm like, holy cow, this is intense. And
Yeah. It was 1998, I
I
believe.
was to say,
It
yeah, I
was,
feel like it's at least
uh,
almost 20 years old. 20 years old.
oh yeah, coming up on 30. I mean,
30, yeah.
they
I
just
mean,
put tickets on sale yesterday for the 40th anniversary of Top Gun, going
I
back to
saw
that.
it, and then like you can go watch them both. The preview
Love it.
mixes. I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
I feel
they're
so
great.
old. But I still like to say, oh yeah, like 10 years ago when I was in college. Yeah, no.
Mm.
Times three. Oh my gosh. Well, this is so fun. Like I said, I usually open like most of the time when I have somebody on, I will open with a question. Oh, tell me about a time. And other times it's just like the whole thing is about instincts or emotion, which is what I really believe should be at front and center at all times, especially in business. And I come from a data person background. So it's awesome to hear there's so many like nuggets and inspiration in this. I feel like I could clip 15 moments from our talk and show them to people just to give them inspiration, or at least go to see the movie. I will tell you, movie theater experience. I have to say, these new lounging chairs at the newer theaters are sweet. Like feet are up. My feet are up. Someone's bringing me a drink. I'm like, wow. I thought that would be
Pretty good.
distracting, but I kind of like having my wine being brought to me and I'm watching the movie. It's cool.
Yeah, I've got a lot of opinions on all of these things, but I won't get
But I
into them
also love the
today.
indie theater, the small guys too. I mean, I interrupted you with
I think
that.
I think that there's a reason to go to either one. However you like to consume going to the movies, I would encourage you to go do that. And there's a lot of different ways to do it now. Um, Look, it's a time investment. I think that's above and beyond, the movie ticket. It's a time investment. What I'll say for the health of the industry and just kind of Main Street, like this is a Main Street uh industry, movie theaters. Again, you've got some big corporations, but the reality is a lot of these movie theaters are owned by, small businesses, family owned businesses, and it is really a Main Street type of industry. For every dollar that's spent in a movie theater, another $1.50 is spent at the surrounding businesses. And that's, creates the health in your local community and local economy. Movie theaters also can turn, there a lot of people have developed great careers from starting out in a movie theater, but it is the best first job you'll ever have. It's
Oh, I
also a
bet.
great seasonal job and part-time job. Um, so there's a lot of reasons why I think it's so great, but all of that connectivity is really good. And this summer, I mean, starting with Devil Wears Prada 2, in a couple weeks, or starting with Michael this weekend. I mean,
Yeah.
The Breadwinner comes out on Memorial Day, Disclosure Day, Toy Story 5, Moana. I mean, Christopher
A lot.
Nolan's got The Odyssey, another Spider-Man coming out. Coyote versus Acme, this long-awaited film that's been kind of sidelined, will come out at the end of August. And then you've got Dune 3 and Doomsday at the end of the year. So, look, lots of reasons to go to the movies. I hope that your audience takes a minute, grabs their friends, grabs their family, or just go solo to a matinee and enjoy the show.
Well, I believe they will. And this will be a good reminder. And I'm super pumped to hear you, somebody from the industry, telling me, look, good things are coming with movies. So it's been a little while, since I feel like we've had some real original creative stuff.
Yeah, it's been. I mean, look, 2025 was a banner year, especially when the Academy Awards gave so many, honors to original storytelling. Whether it's Sinners or One Battle After Another, or Weapons, or Hamnet, or Train Dreams being,
Ooh,
nominated. Like these are
Dream
just,
Dreams. God, talk about another deep feeling.
yeah. Clint Bentley is he's
Oh,
a pretty talented filmmaker, and he's from here in Dallas. So
really? Oh,
uh,
no. Yeah, that movie was, whoa. And it's like the nature and the metaphor about the trees, but just the loneliness and this guy who maintains this like positive vibe despite all he's been through. I'm like, oh, it was slow, but it was just like watching it. You're like, wow, this is amazing. Whoever created
yeah,
that is amazing. I can never do it.
yeah.
I love that there are people, my husband and I all the time will say, I'm glad that there are musicians, creative people, because it's like, what would we do without music, movies, experiences, sports? People are
Yeah,
kind of
and
anti-sports. I'm like, are you kidding me? The revenue, if you could just look at the revenue that, I mean, in Cincinnati, as you can imagine, there's a lot of polarization around our team and how many years we've been terrible. And now we're, where we are and we got to win, but all the things. But like, look at, if you know, even if you're not into that experience, like what it does for the economy and like the money that gets spent beyond the game. And I don't know. If you're going to look
yeah,
at
I
it
mean,
black and white ways, I look at it as I want to be moved. That's it. I like
yeah,
feeling moved and I like connecting with others.
and I think that again, when you look at all this, especially in movies, but I agree with you in concerts or sporting events as well, is that when we do these things and they are a shared experience, it is just such a heightened experience, that it does impact. I mean, I wish Train Dreams would have had a larger, wider theatrical release. That's not Netflix's bit, but I think if you sat there and watched that movie at home on your TV, it's not the same movie as if you go and see it in a theater. F1 was my favorite movie of last year. I have seen F1, parts of it, at home probably a dozen times. I saw it 3 times in a movie theater, and every time when you can be connected to those around you, the energy in that room, the format that it's
Yeah.
in, there is the experience of seeing it in a movie theater. It isn't just, twice as good. It is exponentially as good.
Okay, I'm going. I didn't think it would be bad. I thought it would be good, but I didn't realize how good I was going to feel it was after I saw it. I saw it on a plane. I told my husband, he's like, yeah. And his whole thing was like, I feel like he wants to get all technical for real. He was just kind of like, it's not about who wins the race. It's so much about, in Formula One, like if you understand the sport and all this stuff, like the strategy and the team. I'm like, that's what it's all about that. But like the whole time, like the effects, I got to feel it. I got to feel it.
Yeah,
Just like I felt Maverick, it was like, I got to feel the feeling. So I want to see.
yeah,
I'll get him to go. Since you're saying it's exponentially better, that's it. I'm going to tell him.
yeah.
Listen,
If you
Brandon
could ever
said
see it,
the theater.
yeah, I think the one other thing I'm going to say that about the movie going experience is where when you can find these moments, seeing the movie is great. I think it is awesome. I think whether they are, as long as the theater has really good presentation and sound, you can be immersed in that. But when you can find these opportunities to go to a theater, and we work a lot in this area as well, as when the filmmakers come in or somebody comes in to talk or open up the movie or sit and do a Q&A afterwards. They don't happen every time you go to a movie theater, but the theaters that are really good at kind of programming around those moments and adding to, hey, look, you've seen this thing, now let's have a discussion, like you talked about a little bit ago, Terry, the having these discussions and even having filmmakers come in and talk about it. If you ever see that in a movie theater around you, go see that movie and go listen to these filmmakers talk about the making of these movies. Sometimes they just pop in, you don't know.
Oh, that would be
um,
amazing. I've
but it's
been
really
through it once
cool.
at Sundance. At Sundance, and it
Yeah,
was so cool. It was for a documentary, but it was like amazing. Well, I get into that anyway. With a movie, if I'm moved in any way by a movie, I'm immediately trying to find behind the scenes footage, how they made it. It's so intriguing. You want to see how somebody created this thing that made me feel this way, like it. But I did at Sundance. In fact,
yeah,
after we were done talking, I asked you about connecting you to this other person who I had as a guest who's going to be promoting a movie in small theaters. And it sounds like it's gonna be a really cool movie, and maybe you two,
yeah,
you can help
connect
together.
us.
Yeah, yeah, I would love that. All right, well, oh my gosh, I could go on and on, but I probably need to let you get back to your day. So thanks again for being here. What is the best way for someone to get in touch with you?
I'm
Network.
really easy to find. I mean, you can go to filmfrog.com, obviously, but I'll find giving out my email as well. It's Brandon at filmfrog.com. If anybody needs to get a hold of me, I'm pretty easy to find and track down. But yeah, if you want to talk about movies, I'm happy to do it.
Movies and marketing, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, as a reminder to everyone listening, the show is brought to you by the Vibe Method. This is a process that we use and we teach innovators to help them nail their unique customer story and prove it will sell before they invest all in on building it. Find out more about that. You can go to gohunch.com. That link will be in the show notes. And until next time, always remember and take it from Brandon, the worst thing you can do with a hunch is ignore it.